Whatever happened to paper grocery bags? Well, that's the subject of today's Idea of the Day. I grew up in the 1970s, and back then, paper grocery bags were the only option. You went to the supermarket and you would buy your groceries, and then they would fit nicely into these little square bags that you'd fill your cart with on your way out. And in our case, we had a big family, so we had stacks of bags, and they just nicely fit on top of each other. Paper was the only option. And then I remember a period where the trend, I guess it was the green movement, came along, and they were trying to outlaw paper bags because, as far as they were concerned, they were just killing trees to make paper bags. So instead of these tree-killing supermarkets, they switched to plastic. And of course, plastic just happens to be cheaper, I guess. Well, maybe it wasn't cheaper at first. And of course, they rip, and there's all sorts of other problems. But the interesting thing I find is that why was there ever an issue in the first place about paper versus plastic? All right, granted, there may be some functional use if you have a nice thick bag that maybe works better than plastic, and maybe it has the handles. But the idea that people were switching from paper to plastic because they didn't want to kill trees, I found really weird. Because to this day, there's still a whole bunch of other movements about, just, oh, don't do this on paper, don't do that on paper because it's not good, it's not green, it's not sustainable. Not sustainable? Plastic is made from oils, refined, etc. Paper is made from trees. Which is sustainable? Paper. Paper is sustainable. It's inherently sustainable. As long as the source of the paper is a proper paper mill. Meaning a paper mill that's following the rules. Because there are a lot of rules, by the way. If you want to make a piece of paper and you are a paper mill, there are rules about what percentage of it has to come from the recycled paper. And even if you rule out the whole idea of recycling, a paper mill that gets its pulp from trees, usually they have, just like in the lumber industry, for every one tree cut down, they have to plant, let's say, one or two to replace it. In other words, they never reach a point where they go to a forest with 1,000 trees and cut down 1,000 trees and they're off the hook. They're now left an empty lot. It's not good business for them either, because a paper mill will literally cut down 10 trees and then plant 20. And then next year they cut down a bunch of other trees, and then eventually, if they keep cycling through a large enough series of different fields, by the time they've knocked down the last tree in some other their 25th lot, they go back to the lot where they had knocked down the trees 25 years ago, and they're using those trees. You can't get more sustainable than that. Trees literally grow on trees. And that's today's Idea of the Day. All right, there it is. That's today's Idea of the Day. Some of them are pretty good, right? And some of them suck, I admit. First to admit, some of my ideas suck. But if you visit Idea of the Day every day and you subscribe to my channel by looking at the subscribe link in the corner, you'll see a brand new idea every single day. And I promise you, some of them don't suck.